Good evening, Laurie. I was just saying I was muted apparently. Okay, right, that looks good. I can see the screen. I can see the comments. Hello, David. Hello, Stephen. Hello, Laura. Welcome back, Laura. Boris, how are you today? Good evening, Laurie. I was just saying I was muted. What's going on there? Okay, it's a delay. That looks good. Okay, hello, Diane. Much bigger delay today, so I have to do my screen slightly differently because I'm doing it through Zoom. Because, as promised, we are going to see Laurie is going to jump on. I think Laura's going to jump on. Keely's going to jump on. I think they're all going to show. They're all going to show off their merchandise. So that's going to happen this evening. There's so much to talk about. I don't know where to start. I'm absolutely cream crackered. I'm knackered. I'm absolutely knackered because I had a huge week last week, as you guys know, as I spoke about. I did long sort of 13 to 14-hour days every day at the prison. And then on Sunday, I had a really long one Saturday. Obviously, I was up Saturday night with Lauren and Stacey doing the live. And then Sunday, we drove down to Shepton Mallet. So we drove down to Somerset because we had an early start Monday. So we spent an entire day, me, Lauren, Charlie, Lisa, plowing through finances, rejigging everything for the lockdown and how that was going to look, rejigging all of our budgets again, all the way up until Easter. I don't even want to talk about how much money we took off our budgets over the next few months. So between our year ends at the end of June, and between now and the end of June, we just took, I think it was about 130, 140 grand pretty much each site. Just wiped out the budget. So we're talking about £300,000 just gone. So that was fucking painful day, but it was good. It was good that we went through it, and I went through a number of bits and pieces. So yeah, big day on Monday. Tuesday, we were then up really early. I think we were up at 5:45 because we drove down to Bodmin in Cornwall. So we went and looked at Bodmin Jail, where they've just had an £8 million refurb of their immersive experience side of things, the attraction side of things, and a £50 million refurb on the hotels. So we went down to have a look at that. On Wednesday, we were in the prison again at Shepton, having meetings, various bits and pieces, looking at the new escape rooms, all those kind of things. So really busy. And then we came back up late Wednesday evening. I was on site today, so I was back in the prison today, as was Lauren. And obviously just catching up on 3 days worth of emails. Lauren's got loads of transfers to deal with people that obviously now through lockdown, go around chat the production company, catch up with the producers, the location guys, seeing the odd actor floating around, that kind of stuff, and just basically checking in on all the teams as well. And then today we had to get through all the processing of what we're going to be doing with furlough, with our staff, and all that kind of all those kind of things. And I can see Matthew reminding me to talk about incentives, so I'm going to try and squeeze that in today. So loads to talk about. So yeah, so I think that's the plan. So where do you want to start? Because I've got a few things that I'd love to talk about today. I promised I would talk about incentives, so I'm going to do that. I haven't posted the video I said I would because I hadn't had a chance to edit it, but I will talk about it, and I'll post it next week or later this week. So I'm going to do the staff incentives. I want to talk a little bit about money. I want to talk about something I did 4 years ago, which is really appropriate because yesterday was anniversary for that. So I want to talk about that. I would like to see Laurie and Laura and Keely, assuming they're all on. I can see Laurie here. Keely must be floating about somewhere. Let's have a quick, I'll say it's a quick hello. So I've got those kind of things to do. And then anything else you want to talk about, really. So let's have a quick look and see who's in the house. Also, the kids are next door by themselves. Emma's gone out. So the kids are just entertaining themselves. So who knows what will happen. I'm trying to keep an eye on all the comments and stuff, doing it slightly differently. So James is here. Laurie, you just got to get your hoodie because you're currently in your PJs. Dave, Shirl, guys in Wales, are you unlocking on Monday? Is that right? Do you come out of lockdown on Monday? Is that what I'm thinking? Is that correct or not? James, let's have a quick look. Kathy Prawns is on. Kathy Prawns has arrived. Kirsty's here. Is lockdown affecting filming? No, it is not, James. Lockdown is not. Well, I mean, yes, it is, but no, they are still filming. So productions have not had to close. But lockdown's very different this time around for a lot of people. Schools, colleges, universities are open. You can exercise as much as you like outside. You're allowed to go and meet people if you want on a park bench. You can obviously bubble together. I believe you're even allowed, if you've got kids, you're even allowed to go and meet with other families on an outside perspective. Productions continue to film. Coronation Street EastEnders, I'm a Celebrity, the production that we may have at the prison. Well, we know we've got a production, but well, that's who it is. What else is there? Construction's running, like I say. So it's a very, very different type of lockdown, and furlough is very, very different this time as well. So they're able to go and continue. I'll get there in a second, Laurie. Just chill, don't worry. I'll put the invite up in a second. Kathy, I just want to talk about you, to be honest, Joel. I can't really say a lot because no decisions have been made, but I could probably say a little bit about me, Lauren, and Stacey during this, but not a huge amount because we haven't made any hard and fast decisions, but they are coming. And I could talk about Graham as well, Officer G. So Wales unlocking on Monday, that's going to be bizarre, eh? I'm not going to talk about the US election because let's face it, we haven't got a president as of yet, or they haven't got a president as of yet. Obviously, it's not direct for us. Maybe in 3 or 4 weeks' time, we can have that discussion when they figured it out. I don't know how that's going to work with Wales unlocking on Monday, but England still being locked down. That's going to be weird. Do I think lockdown will work? Who knows? I mean, it's going to smash my business. I know that much for sure. I know it's going to kill other businesses. And I guess let me pick that up very quickly from a business perspective. I said very, very openly last time a lockdown when people came back to work that it was good, but prepare yourselves. And if you're a business owner, you should be making plans for the next lockdown. And that's exactly what we did. So we were prepared for this. We have got plans in place which should see us through. And if you didn't do that as a business owner, you're going to struggle. I'm just trying to see if Keely's here. Laurie, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to wait for see if Keely's going to arrive and Laura's going to arrive. So missing a couple of people. Kathy, are we coming on? No, Kathy, you are not coming on Zoom. There's only a select 3 people coming on Zoom this evening. And that's all to do with merchandise because they pressed me into merchandise, and that's just very quickly to see their merch. But they're not there yet. Maybe Laurie, would you be so kind as maybe just to take a selfie of you and your hoodie and post it so everyone can see? That would be cool. So those are kind of the things to talk about this evening, really. Sorry, Kathy, and I'm drinking rum. So that's kind of where we're up to. Anyone got any preferences as to where we start? Does anyone care? Is anyone bothered? What would you like to start on? I've got those few things to talk about, really. I'm just catching up on the comments, sorry. Dum, 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 dum. Laurie, warning, no makeup and just finished work. Mate, I've got no makeup on and I've just finished work. Don't see me complaining. I did do if you were here last week and a number of weeks before, Laurie has been talking about merchandise and wanting some merchandise. Laura has been saying a similar thing, as has Keely. So last week I organised and actually sent out the merchandise. So I found out what they wanted, obviously, on last week's live. I organised getting it all set up and sent out. So I sent those to Laura, to Keely, to Laurie. I think Laurie got a hoodie, Laura got a beanie, and Keely was after a couple of face masks, but I accidentally sent her 2 beanies instead, because I just wasn't paying enough attention. But they did get them, and they got them all, I think on the Saturday, I think they arrived for them. So yeah, it took me a little bit of time, but I finally got them. Their merchandise out, and in a second, hopefully, just post the picture onto here, Laurie, and hopefully in a second we'll see it. And yeah, that's good. Tell us about JLS, core JLS. Although I think we might change the name of it, as I sort of spoke to Lauren about today, and I don't want to ruin the thunder, but JLS, if you watch the live on Saturday, with me, Stacey, and Lauren, we got Facebook and Lauren. We did some paranormal stuff, but both Lauren and I, and Stacey as well, we kind of want to step a little bit away from paranormal stuff. It's not what we do. It's not our kind of core. It's not our bread and butter. It's not what we specialize in. But what we really like to do is just chew the fat basically on different subjects. And we did a lot of that over the 3 hours on the Saturday. We kind of just talked an awful lot around different things, no specific subjects in mind. They just sort of came along, and we all felt that we'd prefer to structure a show like a live show, like a live podcast or vlogcast, effectively like that. We'll pick some subjects and we'll basically just do it like that, and people can jump on. So that's kind of how we thought we'd do it. And then there was this joke about calling us JLS, obviously Joel, Lauren, and Stacey. So that's kind of how that span out. And then Lauren said today, she went, no, I want to go first. So we'll be LSJ. And I was like, LSJ? I was like, well, actually, that's quite cool. And Lauren was like, it sounds like a drug, like almost like an LSD, or like LSJ. We like that one. So we're talking about doing lockdown with LSJ. As a show, kind of creating that as some kind of format, maybe an hour episode once a week, once a fortnight. We haven't really got much more thought than that, and I think that will end up being moved off the Shrewsbury channel and coming on to my channel, Lauren's channel, and Stacey's channel. So I think we probably stream it on across all 3 channels simultaneously. But yeah, it would be LSJ, I think, and I quite like that name. I like LSJ because, let's face it, we're gonna struggle with that with JLS, aren't we? But yeah, so I think that's gonna take some. Oh, James, I love that LSJ because you're so addictive. Do you know what? I'm gonna tag Lauren in that right now so she gets to see that. I'm gonna tag in at Lauren Watkins and at Stacey Constantine. Let's have a quick look. I'm going to put a very laughy smiley face. So I'll tag them in. I love that because we're so addictive. That's brilliant. LSJC. I'm sorry, Kathy. Not. All right, let's have a quick look. So yeah, so that's kind of the idea that we're thinking of doing. And yeah, that's what we're looking at doing. Laura, don't apologize. I totally get you were watching Most Haunted last week. I'm not going to hold it against you. Sorry, I'm just reading some of the comments. LSJ, no, it does sound like a drug. Yeah, it does. Yeah, but I like that. LSJ, because we're so addictive. It's so cheesy. It's so bad. It's so good. Like, I love that. It's that bad that it's that good. So I love that. But yeah, I think we're looking to format a show. So tomorrow, oh, Laurie, that's an amazing photo. Let's have a quick look. Right. Let's have a gander. Let me see if I can download that and then post it. Let's have a look. What's going on? Save as. Love that, Laurie. Love that. That's great. Let me see if I can post it. I can definitely get GIFs up. I get stickers. Ooh, can I post it? I don't know if I can post it live. So we'll see. Oh, Lauren Watkins has commented back. Yeah, I think she likes that. Because we're so addictive. But anyway, that's something that I'll have a chat with Lauren, I'll have a chat with Stacey, or we'll have a chat with 3 of us, and we'll see if we can format something. Maybe it's going like a weekly or a bi-weekly basis for an hour, one evening. I don't know what it's going to look like at all, but we'll see, go from there. Keely, we were just talking about you. We were just talking about your merchandise, waiting for your photos, Keely. So yeah, we're just talking about those. Actually, do you know what? I can probably chuck this up onto. Let me have a quick look and see if I can. Aha. You're gonna like this one, I think. Let me just see if I can get this to work. Let me just see. It's great if I can get it to work. Oh, there we go. Yeah, that's, let me move out of the way. Okay, you see it. Sorry, Laurie. It's for some reason it's a huge backdrop, but there's Laurie in a hoodie. Let's get back to jail. Should we put ourselves in jail today? That's cool. That'll work. So that's sorry, Laurie, but yeah, I kind of figured that would be a good way of doing it. Let's have a quick gander and see if that's a good backdrop. Yeah, let's stick with the Shrewsbury backdrop at the moment. Okay, cool. So yeah, so that's good. Right, shall we? What? Oh, my ears look huge when I do this. Look at that, because they really stick out from the thing there. One looks massive and one doesn't look like at all. Sorry, I've got to sort my ears out. That's just ridiculous. Kathy, I definitely want to see your Shrewsbury Prison tattoo. Oh, that's a bit bright. Oh, that's a good backdrop. I like that one. That's the Treadmill House. Dead Man's Cell, front gates. Oh, look at that. That's mean, that is. So I'm just trying to find a good backdrop. Let's stick with that one for the time being. Yeah, I like that, Rachel. Our debates about corporate punishment. I mean, you mean capital punishment, corporate punishment. You've been punished for being part of a corporate organization. Yeah, no, it's capital punishment, isn't it? Yeah, Laura and I have had a few discussions actually this week when we've been together this week about things we could do and things we could talk about and stuff like that. So yeah, and I am going to be doing lives with Mr. G. We are setting that up at the moment. I've got some tech work to do tomorrow and Saturday potentially to get the recording studio set up. But yeah, we should be going live with Mr. G next week and then every week throughout lockdown, maybe even twice a week. We might even do a live once for Shepton, once for Shrewsbury, and do that sort of twice a week. So I just need to balance that out. So there's busy times happening. So yes. LSJ because we're so addictive. You trademarked that already. Jesus, that was quick. Okay. Right. So there's a couple of things then. So we picked up some of the merch quickly. So I can talk about incentivizing staff, rewarding staff, as I would call it more. I can talk about money, which is something that a lot of people pin success to. I'm not sure it's the best way of pinning success, but a lot of people do hold success hand in hand with cash. And that kind of loops into something that like I say, was a bit of an anniversary for me yesterday. So yeah, I really don't mind. Is there a preference on what you guys want me to speak about first? I'm going to cover both. So yeah, so I'm happy to pick up either. That's G major as opposed to G minor. Yeah, the Jailhouse Tours logo is kind of it's changing. We've got a trademark on these logos, Mike. So if you do get them tattooed, I think I can probably fire one up behind me if you want. Let's see if I can just choose a virtual background. Let me see if I can find them. Add an image. Let me just have a quick look and see if I can grab one. Where's the that's not it. So I'm just looking for the right backdrop with the two logos. That's quite a cool one. Oh, they're flipped. That's not good. Sorry, just messing around. Let's try that one, see what that looks like. Oh, that's better. Oh, and there's Graham. There he is. I sit to one side. I can do it with Graham. Staff rewards. Okay, staff rewards seems to be okay. Cool. We'll talk about staff rewards. Let me just change my background out again. Okay, so I've got a video coming up very soon. It is based around staff rewards, effectively. So I'll give you the highlights of it. I don't really believe in cash rewards. I'm not a big fan of cash rewards for your teams, for your employees, for people that work. I think it creates completely the wrong type of. I think it creates the wrong kind of. What's the word I'm looking for? It creates the wrong standards. Effectively, it's not. It's the wrong culture. The trouble that happens when you do cash rewards, if you set somebody a target for a cash reward or something equivalent, then what happens is everybody strives up for that target, and they don't really care too much about what they do along the way. If they upset people, if they annoy people, if they do a bad job type of stuff, all they want to do is achieve that target so they get that cash reward. And basically what happens is they might achieve it, but along the way, this journey, they upset a lot of people. It's quite damaging to morale. It's quite damaging to a culture. So I much prefer to reward people kind of on a more of an ad hoc basis. Rather than kind of setting a specific target and have them go up like that. We set a target as an organization and we all strive for it together. And therefore we're not trying to jump over and then step on each other as we go. And along the way, different people get rewarded for different things, but they don't get cash rewards. Like I said, I'm not a big fan of that. So what I prefer to do is have conversations with my team, have conversations with the other teams underneath my managers, so Lauren's team, Charlie's team, so on and so forth, and such like that, and find out the things that actually matter to them, what it is that's important to them, the sorts of things that they would like, the sorts of things they might want, the sorts of things that they need. And basically, I then like to get those things for them. And I won't just do it just at any stage, that there will be an opportune moment that sort of pops up. So I'll give you some examples. A little while ago, it's a couple of years ago now, maybe even 3 years ago now, Chrissy did a really good piece of work with a production company, it was really hard to align the production with everything that was happening and moving loads of things around to make everything work, to make it fit. And it was quite a decent sized production at the time. And I can remember there was a lot of jiggling around, a lot of kind of detail of moving everything to get it all to fit. And she went above and beyond her day-to-day role because she was doing all of that at the same time. And at the back of that, I was like, do you know what? I knew she really wanted an Apple Watch. So I bought her an Apple Watch. I was like, do you know what? I'm going to give you that as a reward for just all that hard work that you did. You really, really went for it. You really benefited the organization. You really showcased how good you can be. So I got her an Apple Watch. I was just like, there you go. There's an Apple Watch to say thank you effectively. I know with Lauren, for example, she really wanted to get into editing videos. So she was, really starting to learn about Final Cut and stuff. And she'd gone through like trials with Final Cut Pro and things like that. And then her trial ran out, but she really wanted to continue doing it. Final Cut Pro is not particularly cheap. So I just bought it for her. I was like, do you know what? I'll buy you a subscription for Final Cut Pro. So I just did it. I was like, there's your subscription, so she can continue to use Final Cut Pro and edit videos. Unfortunately, her Mac is a little bit slow now, so she's struggling to do it. So now she's asking for a Mac. But yeah, so I did that. I was trying to think what else we did. The other day, again, our sales, or our account manager, so Paige, who deals with a lot of the sales stuff, she's been working really, really hard for this production in Shrewsbury, but also she's had to do a huge amount of stuff around lockdown, moving bookings around, and she's still, even though we're in a really difficult time as a country, she's still getting schools bookings, she's still getting private bookings, she's still getting groups and corporates, and she's still getting private packages and stuff like that. She's just going above and above and above and above, and she's making a huge difference to our organization in terms of the way we work and the way we approach sales. So the other day as a reward, I got Paige an Apple Watch. So she was absolutely stoked about that. So I did that. One of my other team, randomly having a conversation with her about heating, because she recently bought a house the same time as I bought a house. We're talking about the heating systems. We both got very old, very non-good functioning, very uneconomic heating systems. We were talking about that, and she was saying how good the heaters are that we've got at work, the oil radiators we've got at work, and how great it would be if she had one of those at home, because it would help heat a house. So I bought her an oil radiator. I was just like, boom, it turned up. And I was like, there you go. There's an oil radiator. So those are the kind of things we do. There was another member of the team the other week. I bought a new pair of trainers and I wore them to work. And one of my team was like, hey, those are some nice trainers. I was like, yeah, they're my Converses. And they said that they really liked them. They love Converse. And I said, oh, I'll get you a pair of trainers. What size are your feet? So they told me what size their feet were. And I was like, cool, no worries. I'll get you a pair of trainers. And they kind of laughed it off. They just assumed it was a joke. And then a week later, I was like, here you go. They're like, what's this? I was like, it's your trainers. And I was like, what? I was just like, well, you asked for a pair of trainers. There's your trainers. So that's kind of the way that I go about it. There's no structure or strategy to it. There's no regimenting to it. It's not as if you could, it's not like I will set you a target. If you achieve that, then I'll get you this. It doesn't work like that. As you work hard and as you're going through it, and as we're sort of seeing the benefits to a degree, so it is a reward, I'll do that, but it won't necessarily be directly affected to your work performance target. So if you have a target, it won't necessarily be that if you hit that, you'll get a reward, or if you don't hit it, you won't get a reward. It's based on a number of factors. And that's kind of how I operate it, really. So it works for some, not for others. Like I said, I'm not a big fan of cash schemes particularly. And that's the way I do it. And they're gifts. They're just kind of like, hey, thank you very much. There you go. We do lots of other things as well with our teams. I put an announcement out today with our staff. Some are being furloughed. And I said to everybody that, it's the last paycheck before Christmas at the end of November. People are planning for that money. They don't want to be told on the 4th or 5th of November, you're only going to get 80%. So I announced today to our entire teams, to all of our employees, we will pay you 100%. Whatever happens, whether you're furloughed, flexi furloughed, not furloughed, whatever it is, every single person will get paid 100%. It's just done. It's taken care of. Don't worry about it. We've got you covered. And I think those are the really important things, because if you can take some of the pressure off people, and money's a big, big piece of pressure. And this is going to move me quite nicely into the next bit I'm going to talk about. If you can do that, it makes a huge, huge difference to people's lives. And I know that myself from how I've grown up and things I've experienced, and certainly in the last year, definitely just, and massively in the last 6, 7, 8 months. Lockdown for me was a bit crazy last time around, different this time. It makes a huge difference if you're not having to worry about certain things. So that's kind of how I do the reward schemes. Rum. Can't go wrong with rum. Let's have a quick look and see. So I didn't pay any attention to any of the comments saying, because I was just chatting away. I was in my zone. Let me have a quick flick back through. Bribery. Any reward would be nice. The company I work for today paid for my medication for all the hard work I've done. See, that's cool. I really like that, Dennis. The company you work for paid for all your medication. I think that's brilliant. I think that's exactly the types of things a business should be doing. James, I get £100 towards a meal and a pretty decent gift card for 10 years service. Cool. How do I deal with an employee showing bad behavior? Execution room, Tracy. That's how we do it. We don't tend to get it too much, but if I'm brutally honest, the way I tend to deal with, I wouldn't say bad behavior, but negativity or people that are not happy in their role and things like that, is I just ask. I think you guys probably know me well enough by now. I don't really beat around the bush. I don't fuck about. I don't mince my words. I just ask the questions. So if there's somebody that's not particularly happy and I know about it, I will just sit down with them and I'll say, hey, clearly there's a problem. Clearly you're not happy. Tell me why. Let's see if we can fix it. And then we go through that conversation. And they will always tell me why, because I'm being very open and honest with them. They're very open and honest back. If it's something that we've done or something we can fix, we will do. If it's a problem that they might have, then we will see if we can overcome it. I mean, I've changed people's job roles. I've changed their duties. I've changed their titles. I've moved people around to make it work for them, to make it fit. Sometimes that does work. Sometimes it doesn't. But ultimately, we have a conversation. I treat our relationship with our employees, all of our employees, the same as I would treat a marriage. And that's kind of how I see it, is that, if there's a problem, if there's an issue, then you sit down, you talk about it, and you find a resolution. And if you can't find a resolution, then ultimately you may have to part ways. And then it's about finding the best way of doing that works for everybody, because it's not always going to be the right fit. Employees and employers is not always the right fit. And sometimes it's the right fit for a period of time, and for whatever reason that fit is no longer there. So it's just then about how you do that separation effectively. So I think employing people is very similar to a marriage. It's that relationship piece. So it's a lot of give and take, a lot of communication, a lot of trust, a lot of faith, a lot of belief, and a little bit of love. Like, my wife doesn't watch these, so I'm okay to say that. It's fine. Yeah, Diane, that's a really good point. A thank you is often enough. Do you know what? I'm not particularly good at saying thank you. I'm not. It's not one of my kind of natural traits to say thank you to people for doing your job. And I think that's because some of the industries I worked in the past is just expected of you to do your job. And you're absolutely right though, Diane, that saying thank you is so key. And a few of our team have picked me up on that in the past, saying, can you not just say thank you every now and again? And I try to. It's just not my natural way. And it's hard to adapt and change out of your natural environment, your natural rhythm, if you will. So yeah, that's why, that's probably one of my big weaknesses, I think. Have we got any jobs going, Jill? Actually, Jill, we are going to have a jobs going soon. We've got a couple of jobs coming up, I think, at Shrewsbury. I don't think there's any at Shepton. But yeah, we don't. Morris got 2 execution rooms and a firing squad wall. So we get some guns set up, Morris. We're laughing. Well, I mean, we're not laughing, but you know what I'm saying. Let's have a quick look. Oh, Laura. Good evening, Laura. Laura said she thinks gifts like that are appreciated more than money. It means a lot. I'd agree, Laura. I think that's absolutely right. And there is psychology behind it as well, because if I buy, for example, if I get somebody an Apple Watch, because we've done that a couple of times. So if I get somebody an Apple Watch, or I give you a couple of £100, you go and spend the £200, whatever it is you spend it on, and that's fine. But once it's spent, it's spent. But I get you an Apple Watch. Every time you look at your Apple Watch, which is going to be quite regularly, or every time you look at it, you're going to remember where you got that from. And that's going to sit with you. So it is reinforcement as well, the positivity that you have from work. So there is things to it. It's not why I do it. That's like a side effect of it. Naturally, it happens. But yeah, like I said, I'm not keen on giving people money because it's just so easy to, off it goes. It's just, there's no kind of connection. It's an easy, silly gift, isn't it? Giving money. There's no thought process has gone into it. So like I said, I'm not keen on it. Have we done any group bonding weekends? We do staff days, we do employee days, and we spend a lot of time together. We got on very well. On my watch is beeping at me. Rachel, I get nothing from my work. I've been there 16 years. Yeah, lots of companies are like that. So I'm just reading the comments. We've got 2 empty grave plots. We've got 2 empty grave plots in Shepton. We have got 2 empty grave plots. Yeah, I think you're all pretty much exactly where I'm at. in terms of like, you know, ways companies can do this. There's various ways companies can do it. It's just the way I choose to do it. James has said about Samsung watches for the win. Well, James, if you have a quick look on your, however you're watching this, you're going to see a little sign off button at the bottom and an unlike button and an unfollow button. If you're on Samsung, you can unfollow me right now, because we know it's all about Apple products. We're an Apple brand here. So, okay, shall we talk about what some people really enjoy talking about? They think it's a really interesting subject. Other people think it's quite vulgar. Lots of people feel very uncomfortable about it. Personally, I'm actually extremely comfortable talking about it. I always have been. I've never found it a difficult subject or an inappropriate subject or a vulgar subject or anything like that. It's always something that I'm quite happy to discuss, and that's money. So I think I'd like to spend the next 5 to 10 minutes just talking about that and kind of finishing off the day. And some people will not respond to this well, others will be quite happy. It is what it is, but I think, you know, it's they say money makes the world go round. It's not true. The gravitational pull, I believe, or something along those lines, that's what actually makes the world go round. But we have built our entire society and our world around money. So it is right or wrong of that. It is something that we all are aware of. It's something that adds a huge amount of stress to people's lives, like a massive, massive amount of stress to people's lives. And, you know, I've been there and I understand it, and I've spoken about it a lot in terms of like how hard it is when you're right at the bottom end, when you're absolutely flat broke and really in huge, huge amounts of debts. I mean, tens of thousands of pounds of debts. It is absolutely awful. And it is very difficult and it's stressful. Likewise, on the opposite end of the scale, it's something you don't necessarily have to worry about. And that's kind of what I'm sort of experiencing at the moment. It's not that I have to be careful still, in the sense of, you know, if I'm not, I could get to a point where, you know, we struggle again. But certainly at the moment, money is not something we have to worry about on a day-to-day basis. And I will be honest, it is absolutely lovely not having that stress of how we're going to pay the bills at the end of the month, how we're going to do this, how we're going to do that, can we afford this, can we afford that? And it is a huge weight off my mind, not just personally, but also for the businesses, not to have that stress, because I have spent, you know, hours and hours awake stressing. I could tell you, in the old house we lived in, I could tell you exactly, I could get a pen and paper now and I could redraw you the cracks on the ceiling, because I've spent that many hours awake looking at the ceiling, looking at the cracks, thinking about how I'm going to make payroll, how I'm going to make VAT, how I'm going to make the bills at the end of the month, how am I actually going to pay my own bills at the end of the month. So I get all those kind of things. But there's a reason why I bring this up now, and I'm going to show you. So I'm just reading the organization, reading the comments, find it really frustrating, but the salary on the job. Yeah, I think that's right. I find that, Jill, it really pisses me off when companies don't put the numbers on the job advert. It feels kind of quite, why wouldn't you tell me that? Why are you trying to keep that secret? They're almost trying to hook you in. Just 2 seconds, guys, because the production have just messaged me about something, so I just want to check what's going on. Last one changed tomorrow as well. Okay, 2 seconds. I'm just going to message Lauren. Hey, Lauren. Guess what? I'm going to send her a picture. You change. Wait on the shift, please. Cool. Sorry, guys. Quick production things just come in. Just had to ping Lauren about it, and we're all good. And I'm going to show you why. I know it's entertainment, isn't it? This is what it's all about. Okay, right. So let's have a quick look. Is Sean Bean messaging? Oh, what was that? Oh, Lauren, what are you doing messaging me? Is Sean Bean messaging? Is he asking about me? I don't know what you're talking about, Kathy. I wouldn't know why. Okay, right. In my wallet, So in my wallet, I keep a few things in my wallet. Funny enough, I've got these lovely spirograms that my kids gave me. I'll show you very quickly. Oh, sorry, Laura's pinging me. Okay, I've got these lovely little spirograms that my kids made me. I've got a picture of my sister. Oh, she's upside down. I've got a picture of my sister. I've got a picture of Delaney. So it's a bit of a mug shot. I've got one of Jonah. I've got a few bits and pieces in here. I've got one of Jonah. I've got one of me and Delaney with Woolly Bear from Woolacombe as the camera. There it is. So I've got a few little bits in my wallet that, you know, obviously are very, very close to me, very, very close. And I keep something else in here. And I show you these kind of things so you can see how important this is to me in the sense of, so I've got a few things in there, like I say, kids' pictures and little things they made me. And then tucked at the very front of my wallet, it's absolutely battered, like it's totally battered. But basically I have this check. I don't know whether I'm allowed to show the check numbers, but I have this check that I wrote. I wrote this check 4 years ago, 2016, 4th of November, 2016. So it was yesterday it came up drawn. And this is the check that I wrote. So this is a check that I wrote from my own bank account, and a couple of the numbers, from my own bank account to myself, and I wrote it for £10 million. So I wrote this check 4 years ago in one day. And I folded it up and I stuck it in my wallet, and I pull it out at different points. And I look at it, and it's kind of something, it is something that drives me. It's something that, you know, I always kind of looked at it. I was like, well, I want to get to a point where I'd be able to cash this check in by that date. And that's one of the goals that I had for me was to be able to do it. Let me get that right now. I'm not able to cash it. Well, I could cash it in, but I wouldn't be for 10 million quid. Let's put it that way. So that's something that I will take out, and I'll look at, you know, sometimes every day, sometimes weekly, sometimes I might look at it a month, but it's been in my wallet for 4 years, and I do take it out at different points, like I say, and it is a lovely, it's a reminder of some of the things I'm striving towards, not just for me, but also for some of the things I want to do in the world, and some of the things I want to do for other people and such like that. And that really kind of helps for me to revisualize part of the destination, not the whole destination, part of the destination. And then obviously I work the journey as I go through to get that. But what it has done, and I think this is really important, is everybody says that they want to, you know, they want to be rich, they want to be able to do this. Not everybody, but lots of people would say they want to be able to do certain things, and they need to have a certain amount of money to do that. And 4 years ago when I wrote that check, and I know I've talked about this before, so I won't dwell on it. When I wrote that check, I was £83,000 in debt. I'd been running the jail for a year. I'd expected that we would have left the jail by this point. We were supposed to leave in the August, and obviously our lease had got extended to, I think it was to January. So we had about 3 months left on the lease. And I still had, I think I had a little bit less than 80,000. I think it was about £78,000 in debt. I think I'd been able to put about £5 grand off in that last year, but still a huge amount of debt. Was living in Shrewsbury in a rented house with Emma and the kids. Delaney must have been, Jonah must have been 2. Yeah, Jonah must have been 2 and Delaney must have been 4. And trying to think what the next move would be. And I can remember sitting down and kind of thinking to myself, what's next? And just writing this check and go, that's kind of where I'm going. And here we are 4 years later. And there's, you know, there is no debt. You know, we've moved into a lovely house. And the reality is I could cash that check, not for 10 million, but for a considerable sum, for a sum that certainly I could probably not have to work again if I invested wisely. I wouldn't have a particularly fun life, but certainly for other people, just because the way that I like to live my life, for other people, that is an unfathomable, I love that word, amount of money, in the sense of, you know, it's that kind of money that people can only dream of actually having or achieving, or getting, or, you know, holding. And for me, it's a fraction of what I want to be able to achieve. And I do think it is important. Like I say, it's not something that I get concerned about talking about. I know a lot of people don't like talking about it because it's a difficult subject, it's a emotive subject, and lots of people don't, unfortunately, have a lot of money to live to their means. And the game, as I say, the game is the same for every single one of us. We're all playing exactly the same game. The difference is in the rules. We all play by slightly different rules. And you can take some people that are born silver spooned, you can take some people that are born into, different levels of societies, they would say, and they will play by different rules. And I've experienced this massively over the last 2 years, and certainly in the last year and a half. I have seen that, just having money in your bank account makes such a difference. I've had phone calls from the bank where they've picked up the phone, they've rung me and they said, "Hi, Mr. Campbell, this is so-and-so this was Barclays, from Barclays. I've been appointed as your personal bank manager. And I'm here to do this. You don't need to bank in the same way you've done in the past. Anything you need, here's my phone number. You just call me anytime, day or night, doesn't matter if it's the weekend, I don't answer, leave me a message, I'll come back to you really quickly. Anything you need, let me know and we'll get it sorted for you." And I'm there like, why? What's this about? I say, well, because the money you have, the money that's coming in, we recognize the value that you are as a customer. We want to support you, want to help you grow, because they recognize that that's going to increase. And they suddenly put all this support and they wrap this support around you, and they help you to achieve things that when you had no money, you couldn't possibly have achieved. And I know that for a fact, because I remember banging on their door and saying, "Hey, this is what I'm going to do one day, and I just need a little bit of help to get there." And they were like, "Door in your face, bang, there it goes." I was like, damn. So I've gone and done it myself. And once I've achieved it, they're then like going, "Hey, come on in. We want to help you, achieve this and achieve this." It's like, where were you guys when I really needed the help? So it does make a difference. And I've gone through a number of investment processes recently, speaking with different investors and financial advisors and financial planners about what we're going to do with the money in the business and how we invest that into the next stage. And some of the things that they're coming up with, I'm sat there going, wow, that's brilliant. That's so clever. And I really like how that's going to go to work for me. And you just don't get that kind of information if you don't have the money. It's really hard to find out. So the rules are not fair on the game. They are different. It'd be like if you played Monopoly and somebody was given 5 million quid to start the game and you were given 20 quid. It's just, and at the same time, you were only allowed to roll one dice and they could roll two. And that's kind of how I see the game of life a little bit. And that's one thing I would love to change as Prime Minister. I would love to I don't think it's appropriate to reduce the balance of people that have the two dice and have the £3 million. I don't think it's right to take everything from them. I think what's important is the people that have the one dice and the £20, that they're given a second dice or a third dice, and they have more to be able to grow from that level to wherever they feel they need to get to, without penalizing anybody else. So I think it's a balance. But anyway, that's something I've done. I talk about it a little bit because this is going to sound really bad. Well, I don't care how it sounds. It's a little bit arrogant, I know, but again, I think you know enough by now. I've got to go now because our hot tub was delivered today. We just bought a new hot tub, and it's filling up as we speak with the hose. So I'm going to go and turn it off. And yeah, I'll be posting videos and stuff like that, hopefully tomorrow night of the hot tub and it up and working and things like that. So I thought I would finish on that because I think it's really important. But let me put it onto a positive note. Part of the whole idea of the Business Incubation Hub is I can help people. I can help them to get from wherever they are, whatever level that's at. And I promise you are going to be so hard pressed to be at a harder level than I was at when I started going through things. And I can help you get to whatever the goal is you want to achieve, whatever that might be. I can help you get there because I understand the process, I understand the journey, I understand how the and I can't cash my £10 million check just yet, but another couple of years, and I'm probably going to get pretty close. So anyway, I'm gonna leave you with that. I'm gonna get myself another drink. I can hear the kids are starting to kick off as well. I'll be back next week. Hopefully by then we'll have some more news about LSJ. So we'll go with there. Anything else, drop me a message. I always love to hear from you guys. I love to hear your feedback on some of these lives. So if you enjoyed it, if you didn't enjoy it, whatever you want to hear, ping me some messages and we'll go from there. But yeah, Thank you very much, and I will catch up with you guys next week.